what is spiritual addiction? Now, this may seem kind of odd that spirituality could be considered an addiction, but it can, you could also call it religious addiction or religiosity. It can be filled with legalism, but not necessarily. So be sure to, if this sounds familiar to you with what I'm sharing, fill in the self-assessment, score for yourself or your partner, and it may explain some more of what's going on in your marriage and why things are not getting better. So over the years, I began to notice this theme with couples, especially with Christian couples. And I can say this because I myself am a Christian. But I wouldn't really call it Christianity as much as what I would call churchianity. And because these type of people are different in that they believe that their spirituality is better than yours or others or mine. So, and you call that spirituality, call that religiosity, but whether it's denominationalism or just in their belief system. So, if you or you're taking this, listening to this for your partner, and generally, I see this with couples. It's not generally just one. It's more oftentimes the both of them, and they don't see it because, in essence, they're both sick. So it's normal, and it's like saying, well, you're less or more sick than I am, but we both got the flu, and the fact is we both got the flu. We're sick. So the better than idea is what you see with these type of individuals. They have a history of attachment, neglect, or abuse, or maybe even trauma in their childhood. They're oftentimes very busy with religious, spiritual events, concerts, services, trainings, conferences. They're very big into that. And what's interesting is they're in this constant chaos with their finances, their personal, professional lives. They'll oftentimes use the phrase, God told me, fill in the blank. God told me to do this or told me to tell you. And that's a big one because it's almost like a trump card. Well, God told me and I don't have to listen to you. And but they may be being deceived and they don't even know it, especially if they have an addiction to being offended. So read up on or listen to the video on offended addiction. They're very transient. These types of individuals live a transient lifestyle, moving every 1 to 3 years, and they're due to work or broken relationships, but they're moving, and there's always a reason to move, either personally or professionally. And they also have a history of broken relationships or fellowships that used to be very, very strong, but either they got hurt or offended and didn't agree theologically with something that changed in the church or its leadership or a ministry they were involved in and chose to leave. And God told me now it's time for us to move. So it's they also use maybe prayer and things to hide in that. It's this constant hiding in their spirituality, and it's always justified.